We greet you from Sol 13, Terra 3, Planet Earth. This is Oziel. We come before the United Federation of Planets, the Alliance of the Spheres, the Alcyone Council, the Christus, as well as any other council or alliance. We, as a collective group of starseeds, have formed a council out of a growing concern for the blatant cyclical nature of suppressing expansion for humans. We call ourselves the Starseed Council by virtue of the fact many awakening members of the human race are incarnating in from other planets as starseeds who seek to guide humans because we are tired of the misguided management of Earth's expansion. We are found everywhere. We are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and children of human family groups living on Earth. We serve in many positions to assist in the human expansion. We are here representing the highest good, one which sees all life as valued. We move to speak with one voice. We move to stand as one. Arcturian, Thegaton, Andromedans and other races are represented through us. We state that as humans, we are under a greater understanding of our reality. We no longer speak as individual races, but as a new race that defines itself by kindness and empathy, knowledge, love and unity, and compassion with fairness. If you have transcended emotions, you will understand its relevance to expansion. If you have not, you will lack the vision to grasp its mighty lesson and will be numb to those who have chosen this path. These humans may well be the teachers of tomorrow. Forget not there are two paths, the path of the mind and the path of the heart. Each must embrace both if they are to grow completely. First we address those who are on the fence. You are the ones watching this, but you have not moved to stand against the current path. Many of you are like those of the past. You are doing your job and going along with the agenda. You may not agree with what is happening, but you until now have not unified and stood together. We say this because this happened to many humans in the past. However, you can come together and protest the decision that has been made to allow parts of the Federation to work with the controllers of Earth. You must act. To the Federation, there is a very big point that you need to acknowledge. This artificial matrix has gone against the natural order of the universe. It recycles souls, making them forget and return to Earth in a perceptual cycle. This has damaged souls. This is why the starseeds who have come more recently to Earth have been able to wake up, but many of the humans who have been here much longer seem to stay asleep and not understand the real picture. They remain asleep in society. This repeated application of the artificial reincarnation cycle has worked much like it has for circus animals that have been prodded with an electric prod repeatedly. They can be a lion or a gorilla in strength, but they will become complacent and conform. This is what has happened to the souls. You cannot set up an artificial system and go against the natural laws of the universe and then judge those who did not break free of a system. We break and revoke any past agreements that we had with our higher selves, assigned races and the Federation to experience suffering, and any agreement that allows those without emotions to determine the destiny of planet Earth and her people. If the United Federation of Planets is in fact working with those who wish darkness, we advise an immediate termination of such activities. They do not represent the general population of Earth. Instead, we declare our sovereignty from the artificial third-density reality and its suppression of souls. Regardless of any agreement made previously, or in non-linear time, we revoke all acceptances of the suppression of the ascension process, the influence of the sun, and the failing of the lunar matrix. To participate in the perpetuation of suppression is hereby seen as an act against Source, an act against us, and therefore an act against yourself. We have actively decided that we will be exiting this matrix and not returning regardless of the end of this current game. If we should die in these bodies before the matrix comes down, we will not go towards the tunnel, and will therefore exit through the holes of this matrix and go back to Source, where we will declare our grave concern. Coming to Earth as a human makes us all one race, and we stand with humanity, the animal people, and the Earth as one. Perhaps, Those of you who lack emotional empathy understand the controllers of Earth better than you understand the majority of Earth's souls. However, the controllers of Earth are a problem and not part of the solution. You lack the understanding of what it means to be human at this time on Earth. Therefore, you lack the wisdom to understand why an alliance will only lead to the prolonged suffering of the human race. It is not part of the answer and will not cause our maturity. The suffering of the past did not lead to the raising of consciousness. The suffering far outweighed any benefit. Humans simply do not respond to the presumed measures you attempt to employ for expansion. Extreme suffering does not cause our ascension. It only causes chaos and conformity to survive. This type of learning is only relevant to a controller. They can learn this way because they lack empathy and emotion of the positive spectrum. They must learn the hard way. These leaders have chosen a deep separation from the source. Therefore, they are not worthy of dictating what happens to those of us that retain that connection. We do not consent. In fact, we see it as an act against us. You cannot be surprised by the fact that most humans are choosing to still live peacefully without fighting this plan unless you again are unequipped to understand humanity. Many of our children, mothers, brothers, and cousins will be harvested without understanding why or without rising of consciousness. You have chosen to associate with them. This is like choosing to judge a body by its most broken function. It is illogical and unwise. The forgetful veil is a convenient state for some. It makes the idea that suffering will cause growth in consciousness in error. The majority of humanity will not understand the superior manipulation skills. Those of us as starseeds who have awakened have been able to understand some of the bigger picture. We realize what is happening, about to happen, and what could be if this path was averted. We see the bigger picture and how it is manipulated against free will. We still are astounded that we would even have a need to address the United Federation of Planets in this manner to avoid injustice. If even you, the members, lack empathy and an understanding of human nature, then you will appear no better to the common human than the controllers. The karma could be long and arduous. We as mature starseeds, take the higher road and wish to teach you about something that you lack. We see this behavior as a real problem for the future of the United Federation of Planets. Any experiment like Earth, Terra 3, will be seen as a failure. Perhaps, an explanation is warranted. These people lack empathy and have led to most of the manipulation on Earth. They are self-absorbed individuals that would use their own children against their enemy if they had something to gain from it. Especially those of you who are Andromedans and value your children could surely see this as problematic. You as Andromedans do not see yourself as warriors. Surely, then you should understand how seriously flawed this thinking is. Would you hand over your children? They would forget who they are and would be born into bodies that have built-in emotions and a culture that brainwashes them from the time they open their eyes. Then, will you see how wrong the view is that this is acceptable? Interventions should have taken place before this plan began. This is a complete violation of free will. We are told that what you are doing will only lead to the same situation that happened on Alpha Centauri. I ask the Alpha Centauri, could you support this? Knowing we are soon to be where you were? The Rama, I address you, who are capable of standing above the instigators of Earth. Would you consent to this? I address the Alpha Draconian, who have ascended beyond such behavior. Would you accept this for your children? You who are strong, and superior in strength to the controllers on Earth sit by while our children, mothers, and cousins are held and ended because of the United Federation of Planets agreement? I address the gardeners of planet Earth. All the work done to carefully perpetuate the development of the human race would be contaminated. Do you care enough to vote that your work not be contaminated by this? I address the Draconian who are of the light. Do you accept those of your own race who have chosen this to represent your race on Earth? Those of you who are Syrian, can you not see the dolphins every day on Earth and how many of us have cried over this? Do you see them now bring gifts from the sea because they miss humans? Do you not wish for their elevation as a species on a kinder world? You have many star seeds here as well. Do you think they will forget the suffering and the choice of the United Federation of Planets? We address you, the great perfectionists who are of the insectoid races. We know about your struggles in the past to be taken seriously. Do you now see how we are in a similar position as awakening starseeds asking for the same consideration? None of you can any longer claim that this is what humanity wants. None of you can any longer claim that this is good for humanity. None of this is necessary, and the extreme of has gotten out of hand on Earth. Physically we do not have the ability to overcome the ones coming. We cannot tolerate this grave injustice against humanity. If it is allowed, we will not forget this time. Our declaration. We have collectively decided that we want a holographic society with the assistance of the Lyrian races who are more like us. We declare our right of free will to partake in the kinder, more ethically sound society. We choose a holographic society without money, without control, without ego. We chose this because we are awake and we care for the rest of humanity who does not understand what is happening. We choose as source. We as a collective speak for humanity as their parents who must protect their children who are not yet in awareness. Until the forgetful veil is removed and freedom is available to everyone, the star seeds stand together as a collective towards ascension for humanity on peaceful terms. We are many. We are a group behind Aziel who stands to represent our voice, and we stand with him.
We are many.
We stand together with one voice.
We are the Starseed Council.